Okay, here we are. Let me check if everything's working properly. Let's see. So, here we are, first stream. Let me check. I see that we have 2 viewers, so if they could be delightful and tell me if the stream's working correctly, that'd be great. It seems to. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna mute this real quick. 1 second. Okay, everything seems to be in order. I guess that my mic could be a little bit louder, but that's fine. Oh well. So welcome. I know that I don't have. Well, I have 2 viewers, but that's not really something to be impressed about. Today I wanted to start a project in Flutter. By the way, for people that rewatch this or whatever, I'm Jeroen, or Jay, whatever you want to call me. I'm known online as Pengy, and I started this channel, GenericTyping, to basically teach people something about programming. I like programming in Flutter. I have 2.5 years of experience with programming in general, and I'm mainly focused on C#, Python, and Flutter at the moment. Generally, Flutter is what I'm doing mainly right now. And yeah, it's great. So for people that don't know, Flutter is a framework made by Google. It's a framework that allows you to build an application in a programming language called Dart, D-A-R-T. And so with that, you can build an app by writing your app once in Dart, and then it runs natively on both iOS and Android. So I really like that. I never really got into the whole Java thing. I never really understood activities or intents and stuff like that, or fragments. Also, iOS was kind of out of reach for me since iOS has. Yeah, I never really learned Swift, and Objective-C is just like one big piece of like spaghetti code to me. I can't read that at all. So yeah, so I wanted to do some programming and show you guys what it's so we can build an app together. So I've got all the resources for what we're gonna be doing. It's only gonna be like an hour, maybe a bit longer today, but I've got all the resources for this project I'm calling Postdex. If you have any other suggestions, leave it in the chat, that's fine. But yeah, so all the resources you can find on github.com/generictyping and then a project name. You can also just go to github.generictyping.com, that'll take you there as well. You can watch previous streams once they're made, on youtube.generictyping.com. And so yeah, I wanted to get started with this. I've had an idea for quite a while now to make like a Reddit client. So I find that like I wanted to make that for a while now. So I think it's a good first start. It's kind of a big project in one go. But the thing is that I've wanted to do it for a while, and there's a lot of different elements into making something like this. So you have lots of like small UI stuff that you have to take care of, and then you have the Reddit APIs and stuff like that. So I think it's a good overall fresh start. I mainly recommend these kinds of courses that I'm going to be doing for people that are already familiar with programming, but I am going to explain everything that I do along the way. So if people have questions or whatever, just put them in chat, and then we can. And then I'll try to answer them as best as I can. So let's see if Discord has anything to offer. No, don't think so. Okay, cool. Also, let me just post this on Reddit real quick. Learn Programming is a real great subreddit for people that want to get started programming and also kind of more advanced stuff. Let me check the rules real quick. Let's see. Let me check the guidelines. Guidelines of self-promotion. Let's see. I think this would be fine, and if not, I'll just get the post will just get kicked. So yeah. Oh, actually, let me just put this up on Flutter Dev, since that subreddit is kind of a bit more, lenient with stuff like this. This is the link. ask loads of questions, please. Okay, cool. I think this should be fine. This takes you to my stream. Yep. Okay, cool. So, let's get started. First we need to make a Flutter project. If you don't already have Flutter installed, go to flutter.io. Let me just type that in chat. Now that link should be good. It should be HTTPS. If it isn't though, that'd be hilarious. I'm not loading flutter.io at all. Oh, there it is. Just works. That's HTTPS, right? Yeah. I wrote it fine. Okay, cool. That's out there? Cool. Let's make a new project. So, I'm gonna make this the organization, which we'll do something like what's good? Oh, let's just put my let's just put my website on there. And then let me see. I think this would be fine like this. Yeah. Okay. So now just the title. I've come up with Postdex. If anybody has any other suggestions, they are too late. Yeah. There we go. So this will generate a project for us. Yeah, it says to upgrade Flutter, but it's already on the last version, I do believe. So this will take a quick while. Let me get my Visual Studio Code open in the meantime. Let's run this. Oh, no, not here. Whoops. We actually need to... That GenericTyping logo over here is not too handy. CD into Postdex. And then... code here. Nope, not that. You can go away. Code here. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I'm still experimenting with like the size of everything and stuff, like the font size and all that. So if it's too small or too big, just tell me and I'll adjust accordingly. And then we should just be able to go over here and open this up. And this should be good to go. So there we go. Okay, cool. So this is your example project that you get when you first run Flutter create. I'm just gonna remove all the comments since I don't really need that at all. By the way, these tutorials are not at all like kind of managed or anything, or like scripted. It's just kind of I'm programming and you guys get to see what I do and ask loads of questions because that's what it's all about. Let's see. So this should be here, and then this should end this one and okay, there we go. So this is our example project. Let me get my Android emulator over here. Yep. Cool. And start that up. I get my terminal over here. Right, let me move this a bit so you can see it. There we go. Okay, and then we're just gonna Flutter run. Or actually, let me just, yeah, there we go. Make sure it runs on the emulator. And then we're compiling, yeah. And then I'll do an initial commit to the GitHub, and then you can find everything over there. Let me make a repo first. I really should do this in advance, shouldn't I? Oh well, we're fine. Create a new repo. This is going to be Postdex. Hey, ready? client app written with Flutter. Yeah, there we go. Now create a git ignore. We'll do that in a second. Make sure this runs first. That'd be really nice. Let me actually change this song real quick. That should update as well. And there we go. Cool. Okay. So our emulator is showing, hey, there we go. That's the example app. We have a counter, boys. Very nice. Cool. Okay. So then let's set up this git. And let's tell Gibo to generate us a git ignore with Visual Studio Code. Flutter is not an argument. Cool. No problem. Let's remove that then. There we go. And then I'll just like make a readme.md, not fill it at all. Let's see what's in that readme right now. Oh, it's a Flutter thing. Okay, cool. And then we can kinda just add everything. And do something like this. I think this should be good. Yeah. Okay. Coolio. Okay, so that's online, Postdex. So now you can all go there. And if you want the resources, it's up now. I'll put the link in the description or in the chat. Link to current project. There you go. Okay, so let's start this. So first of all, let's make sure we've got a Flutter instance running. That's a shortcut, by the way, FRD. That's a shortcut that I made for running Flutter on there. So easy enough. Let's see. I need to check something in OBS real quick. Yeah, this is all fine. Okay, cool. There we go. Okay, so now we got that running. Now we can start to change some stuff. So let's get that title over there and fix that up. This is going to be Postdex, and this is going to be Postdex as well. Just checking that everything works out. Let's, what main color should we pick though? What's cool? Let's see, what are the material color specs? We got green, we got, do we have an orange material color? Yes, we do. We have like a teal. Ooh, that's a material color. That would be nice. Let's see. Let's refresh this. Ooh, I like that. Look at that. That's a nice color scheme. So, let's see. Next, let's get rid of some of the default stuff that is already there. Now, I'm trying to think of like a good way to get this show on the road, since I kind of want to start with UI, although we actually first need to do integration with Reddit first. But I kind of want to make a start in UI, like kind of like a per post thing, where you can see every post. It's just like a view for the post, like an adapter is what you would call it in Android, I think. So we can keep this plus actually, and this will be add new post, something like that. So add new post, or I'm not sure actually. This will just, okay, let's just throw this away for now. So we got a center, so let's get kind of a folder structure going on here. And then so we have views and then we have posts. Let me rename this actually. Views, post, that should be that as well. And then let's make like a, I don't know, like a, let's just make like a post class. Post view.dart. That's nice. Actually gonna move this up to views because in my head, like there are two kinds of posts, right? There's the text post and then there's the image post on a Reddit thing. So what we actually need to do is we have a post view, and then I guess this can return either a text post view or a image post view. So yeah, let's do that. Like image post view.dart, and then text post view.dart, and let's start with that text one since that's way easier. So let's see. I'm gonna make this like an abstraction thing, so that will make stuff a lot easier. Let's see what's nice. Let's just start with a text post view. That'd be best. Okay. Now first we need to import material, since material is the main packages that allow you to write widgets in Flutter. It's like all the dependencies and stuff. And then we're gonna make a, let's see, what's this gonna be? It could be a GIF and stuff. Should this be stateful? Just make it stateful. So I'm gonna make a stateful widget here and call it a text post view. Now, a stateful widget, in contrast to a stateless widget, is a widget, so like a part of Flutter, right? Because everything in Flutter is made up of widgets. So over here, what you can already see in the app preview, in the Android emulator, is that we have a material app. That's like the stuff that you can't see right now, but it's like the entire application as a whole. That's the main widget. Inside of that, we've got a scaffold, which just allows you to have like a body, that's the white part in the center, and a app bar where you can put some text and stuff and buttons to go back and forth. And then you've got a floating action button. So that app bar, that scaffold, that floating action button, the piece of text that you see at the top, those are all widgets. Everything is comprised of widgets, right? And so in order to kind of make an application in Flutter, you can make your own widgets and get those going back and forth, right? So you can load those in and use them as regular widgets, just like any other widget that's already in the library for Flutter. So there are two kinds of widgets. There's a stateful widget and a stateless widget. The stateless widget is just a piece of UI, so just like a view, something that just shows something that's not interactive. So like an image is a stateless widget, probably, I think so. Depending on whether it's animated or not, because Flutter really makes you care about whether or not you redraw the screen. So if you don't redraw the screen that often, it's really efficient. But if you do like 60 times a second, like with animations and stuff, then it gets way more of a hassle. Ooh, just had a spike there on the stream. Anyway, it gets way more unstable, like way more battery inefficient. So, but stateful widgets can change their state, which means that you can have buttons in there, you can have animations in there, you can have interactivity, you can resize stuff. That's a stateful widget, since it itself can change. So, because I'm not sure which to use yet for this text post, I'm just gonna use a stateful widget, and I can always convert that back to a stateless widget if it turns out that it doesn't really change at all. So let's just, for testing purposes, put in a text here that says, hello viewers. Let's give that a nice styling. So a text widget is just a piece of text, and you can do some styling on it and stuff by calling a new text style object and putting that into the named argument style. So just in a regular text widget, you just put your text over here like a string, and then you can say, oh, the style is this, and then you can also do like alignment. So you can say text align.center, and then everything within that text widget will be centered. So let's give this like a style, like a color. let's see, we could use the actual gray for the logo of GenericTyping, but whatever. I'll just get teal or something. Colors.teal. Colors is really useful. Colors is a class that just has a bunch of static variables that you can use to get like colors in this case. But it's used for a lot. Like over here you can see textLine.center. TextLine is just a class, and then it has a bunch of static properties or fields that return a TextLine object. So you don't have to instantiate your own and stuff like that. You just say colors.teal, which is really nice. Flutter does a lot of that in its entire design. Now, this will be a child of container. Actually, why are we using a container at all if we're not using it? So, oh, well, sorry for that. I'm gonna remove that container since we're not gonna use it anyway. So for now, this text view, this text post view will just return a text. So let's put that in our scaffold in our main app, and let's say first we need to import that. I can actually just type this, I believe, and no, I need to import that. Cool. Import text, wait, package, what's this called? Postdex / views / post / text post view. So now we've imported this piece of code here, and I have a scaffold, which is like the main app with an app bar with the title, and then a center widget, which just puts everything in the center. And then a main axis alignment widget, which tells all the children inside this center widget, or in the column widget, sorry, how to align themselves. And then we have a children object in which we can put a bunch of stuff. So let's refresh this. And I may need to do a full restart. I'm not sure. We'll have to see for ourselves. Oh, no, there we go. Hello, viewers. It's over there. It's not that big though, so let's, oh, sorry for that. Let's change that. Font size, like 20 or something. Is that big? Oh, that's way better. Let's just put that up to 40, just, why not? There we go. Coolio, sorry that my desk is such a mess. So, we got a text widget, awesome. Now, I actually want, for testing purposes, just have something that generates a lot of these text post views. Let me just make that real quick, or actually, yeah, I'm thinking about it, since post view is like a generic type. Okay, let's first make this. This can be an interface. No, this can be an abstract class. So, the reason that I'm doing this, this design pattern right here. So you may wonder, like, why am I like arranging stuff in this way? Because if you'll see, we have a views folder with a postview.dar, which is what I'm editing right now, and then a post folder with an image and a text post view. The reason that I'm doing it like this is, say in your main.dar, right? You have like, or wherever in your app, you want to have like a list of these posts. But if you just have like a image post view widget and a text post view widget, then your app, your code is, your compiler actually is going to complain that, hey, you can't just have a list of post views and not define if it's a text or an image post view. You get what I'm saying? So it's ridiculous that if you have a list of these, say you have like a list of all these posts, right, from Reddit, then you want to display image posts for image post views for those images, and text post view for those texts. Excuse me, for those text submissions. So you can imagine that if you have like for example here, if you have like a list of children, now it says like, okay, this is a list of widgets, which will work. Like if I say that I do define like a image post view here. So if that was defined over here, then it would be like, okay, cool, yeah, that's totally fine. These are both widgets, so I'll accept that. But what can happen is that you have like, that you could put a text in there or something, something that doesn't belong there necessarily, right? I mean, if this is just a list of like posts, then why should we be able to put a text widget in here? You want to restrict yourself to only put post views in here. And how can you do that? By abstraction, by polymorphism is what that's called. So I'm gonna define a structure for both an image post view and a text post view that they both have to adhere to, because these classes are very similar. They share a lot of things between these. The only difference is that one displays an image and the other displays text, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a few rules that both the image post view and the text post view need to adhere to, need to follow. And that way it will be way more structured. And if we want to add another type of post view, say Reddit comes out with a poll, a poll like a submission thing, right? So you can vote on whatever you want. Then we just make another post view, like a poll post view, and then we just say, oh, inherit everything that a regular post view has, but just change these things a bit. Like, so instead of an image or text, we're gonna show a poll, whatever. So that's the idea of making an abstract class. So what does every post view have in common? It has a, this is gonna be a lot. Let's start small over here. So we'll have a string that needs to be uppercase. With the post title, we'll have a string with the submitter. We have a integer that tells us the upvotes. We have the integer that tells us the downvotes. I think the Reddit API gives us ups and downs independently, so we can calculate that remainder ourselves. Now, we could... I'm wondering if I can do something like this, score, and then just make this like a getter. That is upvotes minus downvotes. Oh, cool! This is great. So, what I'm doing right here is I'm making a property, and what that means is this is basically a. I'm gonna say this wrong. There are gonna be people that like ridicule me by the way that I'm explaining this, but the short version is a property is like a field. So these are fields, right? These are just like assets of a class, right? So a class has a title field and a submitter field. In this case, you could have a car class with a field that says amount of wheels, which is an integer that tells you the amount of wheels. What a property is, if I can speak correctly, what a property is it's basically a field, but you can assign a function to it, right? So that's not the actual definition, but it's practically within Flutter, within Dart, it's the way that things are done here. So we have a amount of upvotes and downvotes, but it'd be really nice to just say, hey, can I get the score, which is just the upvotes minus the downvotes. So what I did here is I'm saying there's an integer called score. It can only be get, it cannot be set, because that doesn't make any sense. You can only set upvotes and downvotes. And then it just returns the upvotes minus the downvotes. Do note, this is the exact same syntax as this here. So this is the exact same thing, right? And this, for the most part, just looks like a regular function, right? But this is just, what I've done here is just shorthand, right? So you can just use the arrow notation. Properties like this can also be an anonymous function or a lambda function, right? So you can put an actual function in there and stuff. This arrow you'll see a lot because this is also used in callback functions really regularly. So do remember that. Let's see. And then we have, so we have upvotes, downvotes. We have a datetime that's like post date. Or submission date would be better. And then we get a bunch of more data from Reddit. Am I missing something? Let me just browse through Reddit real quick to check if I'm missing something. Let's see. We have a tag. There's like a string that has like a, oh sorry, it's called a flare. Right. So let's see, we have comments, of course. We have like ooh, that should be a class on its own as well, shouldn't it? Let's make a models thing here. Like a comment.dart, and let's just make like a comment class, and we'll fill that in later. So this will be like a list of comments. And maybe we'll do something with that later. So there we go. We have a list of comments. And by the way, if anybody has any questions, just put them in chat, right? So and also you can email me at info or suggestions or feedback at GenericTyping.com. So report. Let's see. Have we got anything else? We've got. Oh, of course, we've got the subreddit, which could be a class on its own as well. Let's do that. Subreddit.dart. And let's say Reddit user.dart. Let's make some classes to make this a bit more manageable. Subreddit. And so this is a subreddit. Subreddit. There we go. Hey, Nara003, you're literally the first person to ever type in chat on my channel, so congratulations. You can ask a question now and have a chance to win a free bagel. Shipping is on your part though. I live in the Netherlands, so yeah. Let's see. So we've got a subreddit. Let's see, we've got more. That's kind of it, right? I mean, we've got the actual content, but that depends on the actual. I'm thinking on how to like kind of manage these classes over here, since like I could just let's see, what have we got here? Something that's either an image. Oh, I could just, yeah. Okay, right. So, okay, I'm gonna do this a bit differently. I'm gonna do it like this. So this is gonna be a widget. I'm gonna define this, I guess, over. What are we gonna do? What am I gonna do? Let's see. Let's just post that here. Post content.dart. That's consent. That's something totally different. What are you working on? Is it Java? No. That's the thing about Switch, right? You can't just reverse or go back into the stream. So what I'm working on is I'm working on a Flutter app. You can go to the GitHub link. That's like wait, I need to see my own camera actually. Like over there in the corner, you see GenericTyping/Postdex. You can find everything there. I'm making an application. A mobile application written in Flutter, which uses the programming language Dart, D-A-R-T, and I'm making a Reddit client. So, yeah, and I'm having fun. So let's see, we've got some post content, and then let's see, this content could be. Okay, so. Post content is just a widget though. Yeah, let's just like. Okay, I'm gonna revamp this a little bit. Since. Okay. I'm thinking of the structure of this application currently, like the class structure. So. The main thing is what we're gonna have is every post has a post view, right? Or this should actually just be a model though. See, this is why I should do preparations. Okay, let's revamp this. Screw it. So this post view is currently going away. We have a post object, and then we have post content, which is also going to be a model. And then we have like a post view. Right. So this is going to be a widget. So let me just import material real quick. And this is going to be a stateful widget. Yeah. Okay. I got this completely figured out. This is going to be a post view. Cool. Okay. So now we got that, and then we can go to. We have some stuff here that's currently not important. And then we have a. I'm just gonna do this real quick to kind of force myself to work a bit better. I'm just gonna make a stateful widget that's called post content. And then, oh, how did I did this? How did I do this last time? Let's see. Because this actually isn't a stateful widget. This is a regular class that needs to be over here. Right. Sorry for me just rambling and doing all kinds of stuff. Let's see. So this is going to be a class called post content. How do I abstract this properly? Since we've got a post and then we've got post content, which is just content. So I could just say content dot. Oh yeah, of course. Like okay, so let's do this. So let's say we have like a thing that says the post content types, like an enumerator. Really quickly, an enumerator is just a collection of options, basically. So like you can have a, so we're gonna have an enumerator that says post content type, and that's gonna have a bunch of values. So it can either be text, it can either be image. This actually needs to be lowercase if you want to do it correctly. And let's see, text, image, and then other, just in case. Let's see, and then we have post content, and then we can just say, let's see, this is necessary. Let's import our package Postdex, and then models, and then post content type. And now I'm gonna just rename this right here, because this is just post content type. And that S needs to go away. Okay, there we go. So post content type, and let's see, this is gonna be a widget and then content. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. Because this is now just one import away. There we go. So, what have we done? Basically, we've done some modeling. Let's see, knowing basics of one programming is to get an internship. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that, knowing basics of one. So, if you get an internship, then you can like really put your work into use, right? I'm gonna do an internship soon, but that's knowing basics of. Knowing the basics of programming is one possible to get an internship. Are you asking if you know the basics that you can get an internship at like a software development company? Is that like your question? Because that really depends. Depending on like where you live and like the type of work that you want to do, what fields you're in. If you're into web development, I think it might be a bit easier to like teach yourself. If you're self-taught, then web development would be easier to get into without like an actual degree, I guess, instead of like these really scientific fields of work where, let's just say like a web development company is quite easier to get into than like a actual software development company, since software development goes way deeper usually than web development, because web development is usually about like as far as I know, I'm not a web developer at all, so but it's more about design and just databases and stuff like that, like the flow and stuff like that. There's less of a focus on back end there, while software development in like, oh, make a Windows application or a Mac application or an app, that's way more like to me that's way more back end heavy, I think. So but can you get an internship with basic knowledge? I'm not sure. It depends on the company, really. So if I were you, just like ask around, right? So let's see. What we basically have done is just we've made some models, right? So these models are going to help us to organize our data flow and stuff, because this way it's all kind of organized and stuff. So I'm just going to make some temporary classes real quick. We have a post, we have post content, We have a type, and then we have like a post and a subreddit and a user and a comment. Cool. So let's start to visualize some stuff. So the flow is going to be, ooh, yeah. Well, I'm not really into the whole web scene. Is it lagging though? My bitrate seems fine. I'll keep a lookout on that. So let's see. I am streaming to the actual correct server though, probably. Yeah, so that should be fine. Let's see. So we have some models which just contain the data. Now we're going to define some views that it's going to show that data, right? So that's why I've put in a post view. If you are familiar with like a model view controller, MVC, this is kind of that, but the controller side is not really there. There's some routing going on, right? And we're going to define that, but it's mostly just like a model and a view pair. So now that we've defined how the data is going to be structured in a post, we're going to tell Flutter how to show that data. So I'm going to make a constructor. Making a constructor in Dart is ridiculously easy. You just basically make like a field. So we want to have a post called post, I guess. And then we need to import posts. And is it going to predict that? Yep, there we go. So we want to have post, and then we just say this dot post. Cool. So now if I instantiate a new post view object, I need to put in a post right here. So this can be a new post. Something like that, right? So this is the syntax for that. Now with Dart 2, you can just drop the new, so it becomes this, which is way better in my opinion, mainly for like the widget tree that you've got here. So you can basically just scrap all these news, and that just saves typing. So this is not applicable here. Now, let's see. The thing is, we have a image and text. Okay, I'm gonna worry about this later. So we have a post view. Cool. So let's just start with like something really easy, right? Oh, sorry for the wiggling. Let's just start with like putting up a text with the post title. So now we can say widget.post.title here. The reason that I have to define it as widget.post.title is these are two different classes, right? So you have the actual class of the stateful widget, which just takes in everything that needs to come from outside, right? So a post view needs a post, right? In order to a post that it will display. And a post view state will actually build the UI. So this is the class, the stateful widget class. Post view is your access point, so to speak. This is going to be final, by the way. This will be your access point from outside, and this is what actually going to build the thing. But since this inherently doesn't have any access to these fields, you have to call widget because the widget is passed to here, whatever. It all makes sense in a minute. So let's just put the post title over there, and now I'm gonna make a do something called make a factory, and this can be static, of course. Yeah. Generate stubs, and in here we'll take an amount. So can I do this? Why can't I do this? Oh wait, do I need to do it like this? There we go. So, oh wait, this actually, never mind. Static list post. There we go. Okay, what I'm gonna do here is I've made a function called generate stubs. What this is gonna do is just return a bunch of random posts in order for us to test some stuff out. So I can basically make another one that's factory that is post example or a get example. There we go, and then we're gonna just return like a new post with some example data. So I need to make this constructor. 1 second, I actually need all of these. I just go like this, then find all of these. And then just say this dot. And then there we go. And then this doesn't make any sense, and neither does this. Okay, cool. So now we have a constructor. Cool. That was a really shorthand way of making a constructor, by the way. I highly recommend to get into the shortcuts and stuff of how Visual Studio Code works, because just being able to do like this with Command D, in my case Control D on Windows, then you have a bunch of cursors and I can just edit all these values at once, which is great. So I don't have that much time left. Let me actually check when I need to leave again, because that will give me a bit more insight into how much I can cover before I need to say goodbye. Oh, we got a bunch of time. Cool. I got like an hour left still. Wow. Okay, cool. I'm gonna take a break for some lunch though in a minute, but that won't be long. We want to get an example. We'll just return a post. This can actually get shorthanded into this. And then we are going to return a bunch of stuff. So this is complaining, 9 arguments expected. Oh yeah, that's right. So little thing about Flutter, or Dart, sorry, this is not exclusive to Flutter. Right, let me just get rid of this, format that, and then go back. So if you have a constructor, right, in Dart, so this is just a regular class and this is a constructor. You can have your constructor in a few different ways. You can just use a regular constructor like I've shown before and just say int amount and then do something like here, right? So this is complaining because this is already here. So you can have int like title of that's doesn't make any sense. String title, this is what you would usually do, right? So you have a constructor because that's the name of the class. And then you have like your arguments, and then you say this.title equals title. This can get very tedious with all these fields, right? So what Dart allows you to do is just say this.title, which is really nice. There's also this thing called positional and keyword arguments. Basically what you can do is you can put these in between these braces, curly braces, these over here. And what that allows you to do is when you define a new post, you can just call post and then you can say title, colon, and then just give the title, right? So like this, which is really nice because if you have all these variables over here, then you'll see soon enough how nice it is to have it like this. Why these are all keyword arguments. So now I can just get like title, and I could be like example title, and then comma, and now I get all of these suggestions from Visual Studio for filling in this post instance. Whereas if I did not have this, so if it was just like this, it would be like this. So I just have like a string and then followed by, what's that going to be, another string, followed by another string, followed by a subreddit, which gets kind of unreadable after a while. Like you do get these suggestions from Visual Studio, right? For, oh, you need to fill this in now. But why bother if you can also just like use these to make them keyword arguments. So now I can just say title, example title, and now I can just say, so that's going to be submitter. Actually, the submitter is going to be a user, of course. And let me make sure that this is all in a good order. Okay. Submitter is going to be a new user, which we'll make later. And then we have flare. That can actually be null. That can actually be empty, so I don't need to fill that in. Subreddit. This is going to be a new subreddit, which I'll make later as well. Then what have we got? We can put some upvotes in there. Ooh, sorry for that. Upvotes, let's say like 420, and like downvotes, let's say like 69. And then for submission date, we'll take today, which is a datetime.now. And let me actually reformat this so it's way more readable. There we go. And then what have we got? We've got content. We need some content in there. is new post content, and I'll need to quickly make a constructor for this. Post content, and I've just explained what this is, so this is going to be easy for you. This dot content. Cool. So now, yeah, cool. So I'm actually gonna define some more models in here. Yeah, that's good. Oh no, that's actually part of the view still. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna do that here. Never mind that. Okay, cool. So we've got a post content, and now I can just say like type is post content type dot, and then import that. Post content type dot. Let's just say this is a text, since that's way easier. Content is a new text. This is supposed to be a widget, right? Then why is this? Oh wait, we don't have a thing. Right, we don't have that imported, since it's actually just part of the view. So let's import material just for testing purposes. I'll clean this all up later, on stream though, but later. So let's put a text widget in there. I'm gonna do it differently. Still. Sorry about that. This is going to be post content type. You'll see why I'm doing this in a minute. Okay, I'll actually just explain, right? So, so we've got this post content field here, right? So this is our model. Models shouldn't have to do anything with the way it's visualized. Model is just models just contain data. That's all they do. The views, those are the pieces of code that actually are able to take the model, take the data, and show it in a way, right? This goes for MVC, so this goes for web, this goes for desktop, this goes for apps, this goes for everything. This is a design pattern called MVC, Model View Controller, although this is just more like model and view and less controller, but whatever. But what's happening here is like conflicting with what we just said, right? I mean, we have post content, which is great, and it contains a type, but then the content itself is a text widget, which is not data. It's a way of visualizing data. So that is like conflicting. So I want to change this, and I'm gonna do that by doing this post content type, and we're just gonna define the type over here. And now this piece of content is just gonna be type. If I'm defining this correctly. Oh, right, because this needs to be this type. And then now we can just define a type. So that's going to be post content type.text, for example. Now, we basically got our complete. Oh, we can have like a comments, like an empty list of comments. There we go. Let me actually fill this in as well. So this is going to be this actually has a submitter probably, which is just going to be a new user, and it's going to have a content, right? So that's going to be a string, like hi there. This is a. Let's do this correctly in one go. Comments in Reddit are actually marked up in Markdown, or a variant of Markdown, I believe. I'm not sure actually. This is a Markdown comment. Okay, cool. And now we need to add those fields to comment. So we have a user which is called the submitter, and then a string content. Now let's import that user thing, and let's make a constructor for this, and that's going to be this .submitter and this .content. Now that's all good and well. Let's see. I need to kind of keep like the structure of all of this in my head. I'm actually gonna clean this up. I'm just gonna say comment.getExample and define a function that just returns an example. So this is going to be a factory. This is going to be comment, and this is going to be return. But then we can shorthand this, so go like this, and we're done. There we go. So now we can easily and cleanly, mainly, that's the main part here, get an example comment. And then blah, 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 user, we can do the same for this one, .get example, and we can also get .get example. We can also get an example subreddit. Cool. Let's define those methods. And there we go. Cool. Now let's define the user class. The user has a bunch of stuff. I'm just gonna worry about like the username and the what does it have? Like a comment, lower quality for slower connection. Cool. I'll work on that. Yeah, it's good that you say that. I'll put it in chat as well. There we go. So let's see. Int comment karma, and then we also have an integer for post karma. Let's see. Do up further. Let's see. Okay, cool. So we have a user which just has like a bunch of stuff. Also, if any of you have any suggestions, just leave them. Right? I mean, send them to me. I love to hear more about what you guys have to say about this kind of format. I mean, this is my first time trying it out, so if this works, then awesome. If it doesn't, no problem. This returns a user. Actually, this is just a factory. Really quickly, a factory is just a function, a static function of a class that returns an instance of itself. So the factory user.example gets a returns a user instance. Oh, thank you, Pi96. Thanks, man. Cool, awesome. Okay, so let's make a new user, and the username is gonna be example username, and then comment karma is gonna be any suggestion. Pardon me. Well, I need to take a break in a minute. Comment karma. Any suggestions for like numbers? 4,982, and post karma. That's ooh, this is gonna be one of those like I put up a post and I'm mad at Battlefield 2, so here I am like getting that sweet karma, and that's how we got the post karma. Okay, cool. So that's an example user. Let's see, we also want to get an example subreddit. Now there's a bunch of stuff in a subreddit as well, but I'm gonna keep it short here. String name, or that's actually title, it's better. And then what are we gonna do? What we could, let me just browse to a subreddit real quick. Like something like Orange Gaming or something. Oh, there's a subscribers amount. Right? And then this usually has a bunch of posts, but then this actually, okay, let's do this. Yeah, this is fine for now, just like an example thing, right? Factory subreddit, look at example. If anybody doesn't understand something that I'm doing, put it in chat so I can help you, because that's what I'm here for right now. Title is going to be example subreddit, and the subscriber amount is going to be no suggestions. Okay, cool. What number do I like? 76 in remembrance of Fallout 76. Not remembrance, but in celebration. Oh, I'm getting a call. 1 second, guys. My bad.
Hello?
Okay, there we go. I'm totally back. Let's see. We have a subreddit, and this is the constructor. This is what's gonna be the constructor. I see a lot of emails about people following me, which is really cool. Awesome. Very nice. Good to see that. Let's see. We have a title, and then we have a subscribers amount. Cool. Okay, so we have an example for that. And then we're basically done. Now we can get an example. So what's this gonna do? What this is gonna do is just get a bunch of them, right? Just get a bunch of these examples. Like, how would you do that really quickly? Like, how would you just like in an instant do like a for each or something? Just let yeah, on a regular for loop, I guess. Which there is also a shortcut for. Amount. Then this is unnecessary. Let's see. List post result is new list, and then result.add post.get example. Why is that not an option? Oh, it is. Cool. Wait, is that like const? No, never mind. And then that's cool. And then just return result. Okay, so now we can generate like a bunch of posts easily. So let's see, we have a post view here, which is going to take in a post. Now, this is the idea, right? We have a bunch of we have okay, it's gonna be great. So this is okay, cool. This is I have a structure now in my head. It's completely done. We're gonna do this. Oh my god. Okay, cool. So we're gonna have a few widgets over here. We're gonna see something on the emulator real quick, boys. One second, and girls. So we're gonna have a widget dot post dot title. Let's put in a divider first, because that always looks nice. Then we're gonna have a text widget. Then we're gonna have let's see, let's put that in bold. Let's center the whole thing. Main x alignment, main axis alignment dot center. So, no. And then we have like a style. Let's make this like a text style thing. I can not type. Let me just share this real quick. GenericTyping.com. Cool. And then we're gonna make this bold. So that's the font weight property, font weight.bold. And then, so that's the title. Let's have the submitter in there. Submitter, and so this is a user object, and so we can say submitter.username, and let's make this like a font style Font style, the italic, that's nice. So, and then what we want to do is we want to have a choice here, because so this post content object is no longer necessary, right? And now a bunch of stuff is going to complain, but that doesn't matter since we're not using that anyway. What we want to do is, depending on the post, or sorry, the widget dot post dot content dot type. I'm just going to rename this, by the way, to content type, because it's a bit more readable. There we go. Depending on, so if this is an image, or actually let's just put this into a function. Build post content, and then yeah, that's it basically. So I'm gonna put a function in here that is gonna decide what to build depending on the content of the post, right? So build post content. This is gonna return a widget, and it's gonna be a switch. Now a switch is basically a nice way to iterate over, or not iterate, to make to control the flow of code with an enumerator. So the enumerator that we looked at before, which is called post content type, has a few different options, right? So it has text, image, and other. Now what I could do is, let's see, post view, where are you at? There you are. What I could do is say, like, okay, so if the widget.post.content type equals post content type, import that dot image, for example, I like return I return a new text widget, right? Or a new image widget, sorry. And then else if, and then I would say if the post.content type equals post content type dot a text, then I return a text, right? With the that's all nice and stuff, but the thing is, this gets really clunky. So this is what a switch is perfect for. So a switch allows you to tell, like, okay, I want to know what this one value is, right? So I want to know what this what the widget post content type is. So in the case that it's a text, where we're gonna return, and I need to edit this a bit because I cannot store content this way, right? No, I can't. Oh well, I'll fix that in a minute. Maybe go back to the previous way of storing post information. Anyway, if in case it's a text, then return like a text widget which says like post content, and then if not, then we can put another case here, and if the post content is an image, then we're gonna return, let's just also do a text because that's way easier at this point. Post content text, and then let's do here post content image, and then let's give this like a cool styling because we're edgy like that. Something along the lines of like a fancy like font style, for example, like italic or something. And then why is this complaining? Because we need to have a default. Well, it's complaining because we need a case for that other, right? Because we have text, image, and other. But what you can do with a switch is say, okay, if it's neither, do I need to break this, by the way? Yeah, I do. Okay, so, oh wait, I don't. Never mind. Sorry, ignore that. So in that switch, we're saying, okay, is it a post content type dot text? Yes. Okay, go there. If not, then continue, right? Because we're not returning. So then we're going to the image. Is that not it? So it goes down all of these options, right? You can imagine that you have like a whole list of these over here. But if it's not any of them, right, then it goes to default. So, and we can say like, if it's not that, then the default will be, so I guess null also counts. Like if the widget.post content type will be null, it would also go to default, I think, or it would crash because it would be a null reference exception, but I'm not sure. Post content other, or actually default, that would be better. So what you want to try to do in situations like these, like I could put this here, like post content other, but then like the default and the case for post content type other would be the same in this case. V-bendrade, if I'm pronouncing that at all correctly, I'm not sure. If your case is the same as the default case, if any of these cases are the same as the default, then just use the default. I mean, this would be redundant, right? I could have text here and would have like post content default, but then why would I even bother? Why not just delete this, right? I mean, it goes to default anyway. So that's basically how case works. Also, you can combine case. You can combine cases in a switch. So I can do this, right? So now, if the content type is either a text or an image, it will return a text which says post content image. I don't want that, so I'm doing this. So that's how the switch works. And because this returns a widget, it will put it here and build it, just like the rest of the entire widget. So now we have a way to view our post. So now let's make a new post. Malone. Post, test post is, let's just import that first. And let's say post.generate stubs. Wait, can't I just... It has a factory, I'm sure of it. Get example. Here, there we go. So, test post. And now we're gonna say, we have a column here. Sure, why not? We're gonna remove that. And we're gonna say, okay, in this center, and I'm gonna pop up my Android emulator. In this center, we're gonna put a child, and that's gonna be a post view, because that's the thing that can be built, right? A post is just a piece of data. A post view is a widget. This is going to be a new post view, and this requires that a post is put in, and that's going to be test post. So there you are. Reload that. There we go. Example title, example username, post content text. So that's that. It's a beginning. But the nice thing is, like, I mean, you could just like, actually putting this information up here, right? Example title, example username, and then post content text. That's ridiculously easy. You could do that with just a few widgets here. What's nice now is that this is readable and expandable, right? It's readable since we know, like, we've divided the data into these little brackets, into these little buckets, right? So we have a comment class that just involves a comment. We have a content type. We have a post that just completely encapsulates what a post is. And then we have the subreddit and the user. And now we have this data, and we have a way to show that data with a post view. And then in our main, we just call that. So if we want to show our post in another way, we could do that. I can also just, let's see, let me change one more thing about the post here, because if I generate stubs, I want the example stub to have I'm gonna change the way that I'm like adding these example posts. Yeah, okay. I knock my router over sometimes, so I'm scared like if it still functions. So let's see. New post is post.get example, and then let's say that new post, let's say it's downvotes is gonna, well, I'm just like trying to make all these submissions like unique, right? So this title is going to be the title plus I converted to string, right? So we have a way to differentiate all those different example posts. So, and then let's have like a new post has a I'm just looking for stuff to edit, right? We have a title, we have a subreddit. We could change that subreddit. Let's just change the upvote. Is the upvote plus I, and then we could do the reverse for downvotes. I'm all open to suggestions and stuff, by the way. If anybody has anything to say, because I may have spotted someone with a suggestion in my chat. Let's see, how does that work? Okay, let's just say, let's put this in a column, and then the children is just gonna be post.generate_stubs 10. Will this work? List widget is not the same as list posts. Oh, right, because we need to wrap. Okay, so that is map, and then for every post, we want to return a new widget, which is also a post view, because that is a widget with that post in it. And why doesn't that work? The argument idle to a list. Cool. So what we're doing right now is we're generating 10 post stubs, like example posts, and every one of those example posts is going to be converted, or the good term in programming is mapped. So it's going to be mapped or converted to a post view. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm saying, okay, for every element, take that post and return a post view with that post in it. And then this whole thing returns an iterable, which I believe is a generator in Python, which basically means that elements are generated on the fly, which is really efficient. But then this children object needs a list of widgets, so we need to convert it into a list. So, refresh. There we go. Now this is it expands to the bottom, but we can convert this to a list view. And then this is not called, is that still called children? Huh. There we go. We're scrolling in our list. Woohoo! Let's see. Why instead of an email not using inheritance, then feed, in the switch case, the runtime type of the post? Yeah, so that's basically pattern matching, what you're suggesting. I could do that. I get exactly what you're saying, and it's a good suggestion to use the runtime type. The thing is, I try to... So, yeah, you're right. I mean, if I use actual runtime types, I could just use different types of posts, so an image post, text post, whatever, and then just check the runtime type and then build the widget depending on that type. But I try to keep everything as pre-compiled as possible, if you get what I'm saying, right? So I really like the doing it this method, and then of course I'm gonna have to do some runtime checking, because I never know what kind of post I'll get, if it's either a text or a image post. So I'll need to check in runtime what kind of posts are these, but I still have the guarantee that I have this enumerator that just tells me what kind of type it is, right? And I don't have to check the runtime type, because even though if you program it well, it's fine. In my head, it's kind of the same as, oh, you don't need type checking. In general, you don't, like how Python and JavaScript do it, right? Why define what kind of what type your arguments are? You just need to program it well. Yeah, of course, if you program it well, then all your arguments will be perfect and stuff. You'll never make mistakes, but you will make mistakes. So you will put accidentally a string in here. But we do strongly typed. I think it's strongly typed, or yeah. Anyway, we do this kind of type checking to make sure that we don't make mistakes, right? So that's what I like about using the enumerator instead of the runtime type. runtime type may work better for what I'm trying to do right now, but in the long run, it will prevent mistakes if I use enumerators and stuff like that as much as I can. Enumerators and switches. But I like your suggestion. Thank you for that. So let's see. Now we've got a scrolling list of posts, and these are all text. So let's say, let's make a few of them images. That'd be nice. So let's get to that post thingy, and then new post dot type, content type equals 3 is equal to 0. So wait, that will be 1, 2, 3, 1, right? So that's I plus 1. I'm just making something that will make every third post in these stubs. I won't. Wow, sorry, I'm completely empty right now. I've been talking for a while. I'm just making sure that, like, when I generate these example lists, that every third post will be an image post, so I don't only just get these text posts. If that's the case, then the new post dot content. Then it's post content type dot image. Else, it's just post content type dot text. There we go. Let's reload that, and now we've got also images there on the example title 2 and 5 and stuff like that. Hey man, thanks for doing this. Thank you. Yeah, I love doing this. I'm enjoying myself up until now. Are I going to talk about testing streams today? Do you mean like live stream, what I'm doing right now, or do you mean like the streams as in how Dart handles them, so like live data coming in and stuff like that, like getting things from your Firebase database, like the Cloud Firestore, or getting things from a regular database in form of a stream? Because the Dart API will probably give me a stream of data, which as far as testing, I'm not doing that much. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with testing and stuff, but I am going to be talking about streams and stuff, like streams within Dart, like streams and syncs, since they will be used for Firebase, that thing. I am apparently completely wrong. Dart length streams. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So that's what I was talking about. So I didn't really intend to do testing on this channel, mainly just building and prototyping, but I am going to use a lot of streams, yeah, because we're going to be using some Cloud Firestore stuff, right? So we're going to be pulling some data from databases and Reddit and stuff, and that's all probably going to be streams and syncs. So unless it's all JSON data, but that depends on the Dart API that I use. But yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about streams in over here. So I think this is a good first start. I'll put everything that I have up until now on the Git. Let me just pull up my GitHub client. By the way, vbandraid, does that answer your question? Sorry for not seeing your name, by the way. I hope that is enough explanation for what you need. Let's see. Where is my thingy magic Postdex? Here we go. Add repository. Let's see. Added models and UI placeholders. Cool. Okay. So I've just pushed that to the Git repo. Again, that's github.generictyping.com. You can get there, or github.com/generictyping/postdex. In this case, that's what I'm working on. Okay. Cool. Cool to know that your question was answered. So I think that's gonna be it from me. I need to leave in not too long. So yeah, thank you all for watching. If you like this, I really enjoyed this up until now, and I'm definitely gonna continue this very, very soon. So yeah, if you want to enjoy this journey of building this up with me and want me to answer your questions about Flutter and stuff, then definitely just follow me and all that. Yeah, thank you for watching, everyone, and keep coding. I don't intend to have like a really tacky tagline on it, right? I mean, the tagline right now is live programming for Flutter, ASP.NET, and Python and more. But yeah, Flutter. I'm in the Flutter Gitter chat. That's really good. Thank you, Dev Angels, for saying that. That's awesome. I'm actually in the Flutter Gitter chat. I do sometimes go there. I am at Jeroen Streepje-Meijer. I'll put that somewhere. But yeah, I am in Gitter. So if you have any questions, just go to Gitter and people will answer them, and maybe I will. I love to help people with this stuff. So yeah, again, follow if you want to stay up to date, and thank you. Yeah, no, not Jeroen Meijer 1, actually. Not Jeroen Meijer 1. I'm just Jeroen, right? Let me check what my profile is right now. Because I'm quite sure I'm just like the... I should be just... Yeah, that's me. You can find me... Oh, right, yeah. I mean, it's the same as my GitHub account, right? So, if you have any questions, you can message me on Twitch. You can email me at info@GenericTyping.com. You can follow me to stay up to date with when I stream again, so we can build this beautiful app together. It's going to be a shit show, but it's going to be fun anyway. Contact me on the Gitter on Flutter. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and have a great day. Keep coding. Bye.